about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone. It is gone. It is Bedlam at the bank.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with KJ McCoy, Jesse Sharon, Dalt, and Freddie. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on into the Phillies postgame show presented by TickPick. Good win for the Phillies. Tight one for the Phillies. 1-0. Phillies win it and win the series versus the Cincinnati Reds. And I think it was all a part. It was a big part. A big part of that has to go to Jesus Luzardo tonight. What an outing from him. Friday, what do you think of Jesus Luzardo tonight?
It was great. No surprise there. He's been pitching great lately. I know he just got selected for the All-Star game. We get him back too. He just had good stuff all night. All night long, good stuff. He's been pitching better than Sanchez lately. But the man, there was this reason why we signed Luzardo is to pitch this dominant. He's pitching absolutely dominant right now, and he's lowering his ERA time in, time out, more and more and more right now, which is a great thing, great sign, and a great thing overall to see. And like I said, I know this man moved himself up ahead of Nola in the rotation come playoff time. If we're in the wild card round, for example, you don't even put Nola. You don't even put Nola in the wild card round at all. It is going to be Luzardo fits right in behind Sanchez and Wheeler or Sanchez and Wheeler. What I think, honestly, not to get off top with Luzardo, I think Wheeler should start. You should go with the hotter hand in the first game. Depending on who the hotter hand is, I think right now I would put Zach Wheeler in game one of a playoff series and then put Sanchez game 2. That's just my opinion. I know Sanchez was looking on an even level with Wheeler, but I think you would do Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo in that order.
Yeah, I agree. And he's been, like you said, he's been fantastic. And the stats, 100,000%. Back him up. Since June 10th, Luzardo has a 1.45 ERA. And before today's game, he has been excellent on the road, like he was tonight. Before today's game, he was 5-0 with an ERA of 1.54. At home, he's been a little weird, though. He has an ERA at Citizens Bank Park of 6.60 and has just 2 wins.
Here's another thing, too, Jesse, right? Think about it. I know we're at a long way to postseason. With this rotation, you can kind of fool your opponent a bit. Say if we start Wheeler or Sanchez game 1, or say if we started, for example, Wheeler game 1, and then game 2 you say you don't know who's going to start, and then you fool them that way. And not know who's going to be your game 2 starter. You know what I'm saying, Jesse? Mm-hmm. This rotation, you kind of play along and teeter-totters who's going to start. But honestly, I still go Wheeler, Sanchez, and Luzardo. But who knows? Who knows? This rotation, it brings up an interesting conversation. But I would not put Nola in a. I don't trust him in the playoffs. this time around. I'd be shocked if he pitches a gem like these other guys. But anyway,
Would you put him in the bullpen? Because I mean, I really only trust a couple of guys. I trust Duran. Bolin had a good night tonight. He's got about a 3.2 ERA, 3.25 ERA last I checked. But again, he can be weird. Ryan Kirkering, he's been okay, but even then, again, he can have his moments. Lefties in this bullpen have just been awful. You talk about Banks, who just got hurt.
yeah,
Alvarado's been awful. So I don't know. Do you maybe put Nola in the rotation with the idea in mind that we also have issues at the back of our rotation? Like, I don't know if I entirely trust Rangel and whatever other fifth starter they bring.
I think we're going to get another fifth. We have to get another fifth starter because you can't keep on rolling out these guys who can't even go deep into games, like go only 3-4 innings. Then you pretty much burn your bullpen. You tax your bullpen. That is just bad enough. We have multiple bad guys in the bullpen, bad arms. You have to get a fifth starter, and hopefully whoever we get is better than Nola. Better than Nola, because I think if they're better than Nola, you put Nola possibly in the bullpen. But who knows? If we get a fifth starter who's an absolute ace, Nola could be in trouble. Like I said, he could be pushing the bullpen, like you said. But do the Phillies really want to do that with the amount of money he makes? That's the thing. But I would. I don't care. I don't care how much money he's making. I would push him to the pen, regardless of who your fifth starter is going to be. You push him to the pen. But honestly, if the fifth starter who we add isn't as good, then Noel will probably stay as the fourth starter. But it all depends who we get, where we get them from, and how they are pitching at the time. Like I said, who's this guy?
It was you.
Oh no,
I was putting up. Row.
But anyway,
Yeah.
like I said, we'll see what happens, guys. But that's all I have on the pitching right now. I'll keep things moving here.
Yeah, Ro, I don't know if you're still watching, but man, your hitting stinks. No, I'm kidding. They whacked us around for 11 runs last night, but
and only scored one single run in the other two games. 1 run in the first game. Is it no runs in the second game? We shut you guys down. We put up 2 great pitching masterpieces against you guys. Wheeler and Luzardo both didn't allow a thing.
yeah.
Wheeler might allow a run, right? Wheeler allowed 1 run, but other than that, 1 run between those 2 guys.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. He's been Wheeler again. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I do not understand why he is not an all-star. It is a complete and utter joke, and it is an embarrassment for Major League Baseball. Yes, I know that he can pitch. He's gonna probably pitch on Sunday, but I really think he should still get the honors. I hate how this system works, but you know what? That's how the cookie crumbles. And Luzardo made the All-Star game. So I'll ask you this: with this performance, do you think that Luzardo earned his spot in the All-Star game?
He definitely did. He's not only earned his spot, but my big question is, I know they said Sanchez. The question is, will he earn it enough that the MLB, since the game's in Philly, do they decide to start Jesus in the All-Star game out of nowhere? Out of nowhere, does he start the All-Star game somehow over Christopher Sanchez? I mean, that remains to be seen. I mean, I honestly I think if Philly's going to start, it might be Sanchez though, but somehow Luzardo might come out of nowhere and start. You just never know.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be Mizorowski because he's out. I think it'd be crazy if you don't see. And I don't know about Luzardo, but man, I'll tell you what. If you don't see if the National League is winning, and you don't see Duran, I think that's crazy. That's crazy to me. And I mean, speaking of Duran, he had a up and down sort of ninth inning. Did you think that he was kind of? I mean, you had like a hit by pitch. You had a guy get on. Like, did you think that Duran was gonna hold on there?
I think he did. They needed first of all, they needed that win. Second of all, the Duke keeps just adding to his legacy with the Philadelphia Phillies getting saves like no tomorrow. And but I think he was looking a little bit off. But then he bounced, but he found his way out of that. He found his way out of that jam. You got to realize how big of a game this was. This is probably, I would say, I wouldn't say the biggest win of the season, but one of the top three biggest wins of the season, because you look at that situation, you only have a 1-run lead, 1-0 lead. You look at the standings right now, and you think to yourself how big these 1-run wins have been this year. 19 1-run wins. Just think about it for a second, Jesse. If this was the Phillies from 4 or 5 years ago, this team wouldn't even be in the playoff picture right now. They would lose half of those games. Half of those games. We wouldn't even be in the playoff hunt right now. We wouldn't even be in the playoffs right now. You think about it. You're tied right now with the Miami Marlins. And I gotta say, and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna quote it out loud. The Phillies getting Yohan Duran in these situations, in a lot of 1-run situations this year, Phillies getting Yohan Duran is the greatest thing since sliced bread. The greatest thing since sliced bread, because you don't know how big of a difference maker this is. This was guys like Jonathan Papelbon, guys like Hector Neris, and all. They would blow Hector Neris, and I don't want me to talk trash on Hector Neris. He was good too. He wasn't bad, but we would lose some of these games if Hector Neris was pitching. Honestly, we would probably lose. We probably would have lost at least 3 or 4 of those games,
I agree.
and then we would be right on the bubble in the playoffs right now, if you think about it. So, all these wins, 19 wins, 19 1-run wins, leading the Major League Baseball. However, come postseason time versus these elite teams, that's not going to cut it all the time. Especially against the LA Dodgers. But who knows? Who knows? The LA Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, all those guys. I hope there's some little mixed up chemistry in that lineup. But even though they're playing good with Kyle Tucker and all. But anyway, they're absolutely, the pitching's absolutely was lights out tonight. It was lights out in 2 out of the 3 games this series, except for last night. Should have had a sweep versus them. It shouldn't be. Listen. People could listen. People can talk about Andrew Painter, saying he's this, saying he's that, saying he's the chosen one, making him look like he is this guy. Ballpark Tommy, Casey McCoy telling Ballpark Tommy to dress in a Painter suit because, hey Dutch, we don't have a 5th starter right now. We stink because we have to wear down our bullpen in one game, but yet we go back to have real starters again after that. I mean, come on now. It's a joke. It's a joke that we have no real 5th starter. And Rauhal he looked okay, but he is still not the answer. He is not a bona fide starter, and I don't want him as my starter. I want a real starting pitcher as my starter. You have to have a little more help in the bullpen. It's out of control. It's out of control, but at least Bolin showed up tonight. At least Bolin shows up. He gets the job done from time to time. At least Kirkering gets the job done from time to time, even though he didn't pitch tonight. Duran shuts the door, but all these other guys, Tanner Banks, listen, I don't ever root for injuries, but this guy had no business of even being called back up to the big leagues when they knew something was wrong with him and when they knew he wasn't even pitching that well. And I'm gonna say this. I think, honestly, he's gonna. I have a strange feeling that even though he's hurt, they're gonna end up either. If he pitches bad, they're gonna either send him back down, shut him down, or DFA him before August. That's what because you can't have a man. You can't have a man mess up our joy, pitch this bad, and he's still he's battling injuries and soreness in his arm. It's not fair to the fans. It's not fair at all. And I'm not saying injuries are serious things, but it's not fair. It's not fair to the fan base that you throw these guys out here. You throw these bad pitchers out there, and I kind of blame Dave Dombrowski for being so content. I mean, not gonna lie, he did go with the signing bullpen guys, but he didn't do that great of a job because I'll tell you what, these guys have been very injury prone this year. Between Tanner Banks, now pitching bad, and I think he's been kind of hurt this year. Between Brad Keller being hurt and he didn't pitch that bad yesterday, and between other guys just not pitching well, it's out of control. But I don't mean to talk about it in a bad way because we won tonight, and I'm trying to think about the win, but there's something has to be. Like I said, I've been saying this all series, and I've been saying this dating back to last week. Something has to be done with this bullpen because you can't have just a couple guys carry you, and then say what happens if a starter doesn't go deep into games. Especially against the Dodgers, you're in trouble with that lineup, with Ohtani, everybody else. You're in deep, hot water. This bullpen, I'm going to say this bullpen, I think our bullpen was better last year. We need multiple arms in there. We can't throw these no names, and we bring up Sugar back up, who's not even that great. I mean, come on now. But that's my rant for the Phillies. I had to throw a rant here, even during a 1-0 win with the Phillies bullpen. And another thing I'll say too, and we'll get to the offense. The offense has to start stepping it up again more because lately, besides Justin Crawford, and other guys getting hits from time to time, like Brandon Marsh, lately the offense has been, besides last night a little bit, the offense has been very much slacking lately. The most runs we've scored all road trip was that 6-run game on 4th of July. Other than that, we scored 6 runs in one game. I think 2 runs in another game against the Royals. We scored 6 runs, then we scored 2 runs, then we scored 1 run, 4 runs, 5 runs, 1 run. Our offense hasn't been scoring a ton of runs lately, which is a big problem. This stuff can't happen in October baseball, because if that happens, that's no good for the Phillies. But I think they're just slumping. They need the All-Star break and all. Justin Crawford played great tonight. Honestly, he is the Phillies' best first-year player. Hands down, best first-year player for the Phillies. I don't think and I hate to say it, Duran was with us last year, but I'm talking about first year coming into the team this year in 2026, because Duran's been with us since late 2025. But I think he has been by far, not even close, the best first-year player on the Phillies. And I say Bolin is right there, close second, Bolin. Jonathan Bolin. But everybody else falls behind. I don't even put Brad Keller because he's been hurt most of the year. Sugar's not even close. And I can even make a case, put Derek Hill in there. Put Derek Hill right there on Bolin's level. We put him maybe second behind Crawford. And then you put Rokon maybe right behind there. So, but anyway, I think when I go live on Saturday, I'll give some of my first half awards because I won't be on Sunday. But that depends if I'm on, because I don't know if I'm going to do something with Dalton and KJ Saturday night or not. Maybe go out to eat or something. But if I'm on Saturday, or I could even kind of give them either tomorrow or Saturday, I can get my first half awards because I'm not going to be on Sunday because of the Village. I'll probably miss some of the game too. So, but I'm just get my first half. I'll tell you my first half awards, then reveal the full list. I'll have to write down my list and all of that. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, Crawford's just been playing great lately. He's been just hitting the ball. Good small ball hitter. That's what we need on his team. And that's all I have to say. So
Yeah. Well, we got one more thing to knock out. Phillies Tigers is up next. Let's give our series predictions on Friday.
Yo, Friday, give him the business. Only in South Philly. Only at Friday's Corner. It's Friday's Corner.
Well, tomorrow, Phillies and Tigers. Tony the Tiger. Tony the Tiger. So, here's my thing, Jesse Sharon. We can All-Star weekends this weekend, All-Star Village and all. But first, tomorrow, no All-Star Village yet because the Phillies got a big series, last series before the All-Star break. Which the All-Star break for us is kind of... believe it or not, Jesse, I don't think this year really feels like an All-Star break for the Phillies because we're hosting it. If you think about it, it don't really feel like we have an All-Star break because Schwarber and Harper are not really going to get any rest. They're going to be partying it up in Philly. We're really only going to have one day off on Wednesday. And Wednesday and Friday, we're only going to have off really next week. I don't even count. Honestly, Jesse, before I get to my series, I don't really count those as off days for us. Just because we're hosting the All-Star game this year. For most of the team I do, but for some, no. But anyway, getting back to my series predictions, I'm going to go to Phillies win 2 or 3 against the Tigers. I don't think we sweep them. I think the Phillies will have one offensive outburst of close to 10 runs in this game, in the series. It might come maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. But I think we win tomorrow. We win Sunday. We might lose on Saturday. But I see us taking 2 or 3. I see Kevin McGonigal maybe hitting a home run against us this series. So my final score predictions for this whole series, I'm going to see how close I can come. I think the Phillies win tomorrow. I think I'm going to go about 8, not 8. I'm going to go 9-2 tomorrow. I'm going to go we lose probably like 5-3 on Saturday, and then we win with Wheeler pitching. I'll say 4-2. So I'll say 9-2 win, 5-3 loss, 4-2 win. That's what I'll say for this whole series. It's going to be you're not going to see any 1-0 games in the series. I think there's some sluggers on both sides. I think the Tigers offensively are a little bit better than the Reds sometimes. They got some sparks, but I think Phillies 2 or 3. I think Wheeler has at least 8 strikeouts on Sunday, so and pitches at least 7 strong innings. So
yeah, I'm totally there with you. Here are mine. So you've got game 1, Nola versus Jack Flaherty. Flaherty surprisingly having a bad year this year. 2-8 with a 4.60 ERA, 92 strikeouts. Flaherty is usually one of the better right-handed starters in the league, more consistent starters in the league. Tigers right now, they are awful. They are reeling. They are 43 and 54th in the AL Central, which is one of the worst divisions in all of Major League Baseball. But overall, the Tigers, they have some guys that hit Noah well. Riley Green having an outstanding season, 333 batting average, 666 OPS. Another guy that has had some success against him, Zach McKinstry, their second baseman, 250 with a 708 OPS. That being said, I do think that the Phillies actually light up Jack Flaherty this time around and get the win. Derek Hill has an 1,000 batting average in, just one at bat, but he has had success against him. Otherwise, Edmundo Sosa has a 500 batting average with a 1,500 OPS, which is crazy. Schwarber has had 26, the most at-bats amongst anybody in the lineup against Jack Flaherty, 26 at-bats. Unfortunately, with a subpar batting average, 0.77 with a 418 OPS. That's lifetime. Brandon Marsh has struggled. JT has struggled in 7 bats, 143 batting average. And Trey Turner in 11 at-bats has an 0.91 batting average. So I think this may be up until the point where Jack Flaherty is out. I think that this could be a low-scoring game, but this Tigers bullpen, just like the Cincinnati Reds bullpen, is awful. It's really bad, one of the worst in Major League Baseball, and that's where I think the Phillies do their damage. It's not exactly a hitter's park per se, but that right field spot is a prime position, I think, for Schwarber to launch one to right field. I think that Bryce Harper going into the home run derby, I think he hits one, and I think the Phillies win. I'll go 4-2. I think Noah lets up 2. I think he actually has a decent start. But don't let this fool anybody. It's the Tigers. They're bad. I still am not a believer in Noah to have sustained success in that starting rotation. Unfortunately, it's not his year. But then you go on to game 2 of the series. Christopher Sanchez goes up against Mize. Mize with a 2.64. Casey Mize, probably one of the trade candidates that the Phillies, I think, should be looking at this year, because I think the Tigers do sell, and Mize has been outstanding. 4-5 with a 2.64 ERA in 13 games, 71 innings pitched, 72 strikeouts with a 0.98 whip. That's really good. But so is Sanchez. Sanchez looking to rebound after a horrific outing against the Kansas City Royals, and I think he does so against the Detroit Tigers. I think this will be a low-scoring affair. I think that Sanchez actually does well. I think Mize does well. But because it's Casey Mize, I have a feeling that this Phillies batting order will not do all that great against Casey Mize, although there has been some success against Mize from a few players. Bohm with a 6.67 batting average in 3 at-bats. The guy with the most at-bats is Kyle Schwarber. He has no hits, a 0 batting average lifetime against Casey Mize. Stott has 2 at bats, 500, 500 average, 1,000 OPS. Bohm actually has a home run against Casey Mize with 2 RBIs. Harper has 2 RBIs. Marsh has an RBI in 4 at bats, and nobody else does. Nobody else does. So that being said, I think that the Phillies are going to struggle against Mize. I think Sanchez will do good, but I think that the Tigers do push 1 or 2 across. I do think that McGonigal is going to hit a pretty big home run against the Philadelphia Phillies. Delco legend, if I may. And I think the Tigers take game 2. We move on to game 3 of the series. That is a Sunday. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that because I'll be at the Futures game, but that's a 1:40 start. Zach Wheeler versus Tarek Skubal. This is going to be a very fun matchup. Skubal having an outstanding year. Wheeler having an outstanding year. Hopefully Wheeler can prove the doubters wrong. And I think the script sort of flips a little bit. I think that Wheeler goes deep. I think that you do the same sort of formula that you did tonight. You get Boland, or you get Kirkering, or you get one of these. You get Mesa, one of these hotter relievers, and they shut the Tigers down. I think the Phillies actually pushed some runs against Skubal in this ball game. Harper with a 500 batting average with 6 at bats. The only guy that has an RBI though against Tarek Skubal in the Phillies lineup is JT Realmuto. Realmuto in 3 at bats, 1 RBI, 33 batting average, 1,000 OPS. I think he is in line to do some damage, and I think the Phillies win a tighter one, and I think they win it. I'll go. Let me think. I'll go. Let's see. I'll go 4-2 or 4-3. I'll go 4-3. I'll go 4-3 Phillies, and they win the series versus Detroit, and then the All-Star break, and then the Phillies have to rebound after that because, like Friday said, the schedule after the All-Star break, it's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, Mets, Dodgers, Yankees, Marlins, and even though Baltimore's not playing good, we got to go to Baltimore. We got to play Washington too in early August, as well for a 4-gamer. So the schedule's brutal for the most part from after the All-Star break to even early August. But and don't take the Orioles lightly. Think about it. They still got Rutschman and Henderson, Gunnar Henderson and them down there. Because remember, last time we played a AL team on the road, we lost the series. So it's still a brutal schedule. You play who's on your schedule. It's very brutal. Including we got brutal parts of the schedule. We even got that long West Coast road trip too, on top of it as well.
I hate West Coast
trips.
trips.
This is why the Phillies have to win. They have to win the series this weekend too. Besides winning against Cincinnati, because right now I think we're like 500 on this road trip so far. 500. But anyway, we roar our way into Detroit. I gotta talk to shout out to Constantine. Constantine, you need to if you're listening to this, you need to make a meta AI of me and Jesse coming out of the Tigers den or Tigers cage or Tigers stadium and all, and post it tomorrow because I think it would get over 10,000 views. I think we need to get Jesse and me a Tiger game. So Constantine, if you're watching, you need to make an AI of that. of the Tigers Den, Tigers Cage, whatever. Me and Jesse.
Oh, man. 10,000 views. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching this edition of the Phillies postgame show. A little late one, but we got the job done. Phillies win it 1-0. Go on to play the Detroit Tigers. Again, thanks again, Tick Pick, for sponsoring the stream. I'm Jess. That's Friday. Thanks for watching, and let's go, Phils.
The Vikings.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone, and it's gone. It is Bedlam at the bank.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today.